Have you tried everything, but you just feel like weight loss is so hard and it just never sticks? This video might change how you think about realistic, healthy weight loss. In this video, I'm sharing 5 shifts that I had to make in order to lose 73 pounds and keep it off without an issue. I'm Sam. I run the blog samcookskindness.com. I also share my health journey here on YouTube. And today I'm so excited to talk about these shifts that I've made because they have really been the key factors that have helped me have successful weight loss over time. It hasn't felt hard, I haven't gained it back, and I've been able to maintain for the long term. Now, before we dive in, keep in mind that this is all from my personal experience. Make sure you talk to your medical team or your doctor. This is not meant as medical advice. This is just what I have gone through myself. Shift number 1. I stopped dieting and I started nourishing my body. I come from a history of fad diets, yo-yo diets. I have been overweight my entire life from childhood, and I would constantly pick up the next fad, restart Monday. You know how it goes. You make one little mistake, you fail, you decide to throw in the towel and eat the whole cake. Basically, that was me every single weekend, starting over, saying I'd start Monday. Monday is the day that I'm going to be able to diet, that I'm going to be able to lose the weight. Well, that never stuck. It wasn't until I shifted my mindset and learned a little bit about nutrition and calorie density that I was actually able to make small changes that would stick for the long term. I learned about the calorie density of food so that I could start adding food into my diet instead of focusing on what I couldn't have, what I needed to restrict, what I had to take out. I learned how to build a plate around calorie density, around the foods that were lower on that scale, and adding in the foods that were higher on that scale as well, but in smaller portions. This way I didn't have to cut out my favorite foods. I was still able to eat them, but I was crowding them out a little bit by adding in tons of non-starchy veggies to increase the volume without increasing the calories too much. I started focusing on adding in more whole food foods like fruits, veggies, whole grains, whole starches, things that come to us in their whole form, and less processed ingredients. Shift number 2 was finding foods that made healthy eating easy. This means leaning into meals that I actually enjoy, building plates that follow the rules of low calorie density and nourishing my body, and then eating them on repeat. I eat the same breakfast every single day. I found a breakfast I love, and I make it every single day. Some days I don't, but then the next day I do. What you do the majority of the time is what matters most. And finding meals that you actually love and that you can repeat was so helpful to me. Now, these meals don't have to be the same forever. In fact, I've had different staples all through the years of my weight loss journey. I started with a breakfast of hash browns and zucchini, like air fried in the air fryer with hummus and ketchup and hot sauce, and that was so good, and I ate it for like a year. But now my breakfast is oatmeal with cauliflower rice and lots of fruit. And I'm sure at one point I'll get sick of that and then I'll switch it again. But having a staple meal that you can just go to on repeat until you want to change it is key. I also learned that it's important not to try to copy somebody else's staple meals because your taste might be different than my taste. So why would you eat the exact same thing that I eat? If you hate cauliflower, why are you putting it in your oatmeal? There's so many other options that you can make, and you just have to play around and find out what works best for you. I build most of my plates with a 50-50 rule where half of my plate is vegetables, the other half of my plate is starches or proteins. I add a little bit of fat in there. I add in sauces for flavor, but the bulk of my meal is always gonna be veggies. So my current go-tos are breakfast is my cauliflower oats. I eat that every single day. For lunch, I eat air fryer meals most days of the week, which means I'm throwing vegetables straight into the air fryer, and I'm air frying some fries, some potatoes, some sweet potatoes, some kind of starch in there as well. And then I add a little protein. Sometimes it's my tofu sour cream. Sometimes it's just air fried tofu or lupini beans. But generally, I'm following that same rule. So my breakfast and my lunches are always very similar to each other, and it helps me not have to think about it because I thought about it in advance. I planned these meals, I eat them on repeat, and I make my life easy. And then I have a little bit of fun at dinner time and switch up the meal plan there a little bit more. So the takeaway here is to find 1 or 2 breakfasts that you love, eat them on repeat. Find 1 or 2 lunches that you love, eat it on repeat, and then have some variety at dinner. That way you always have a consistent base to work off. You know you're nourishing your body and you're eating foods that you actually like. Shift number 3, I learned to actually move my body in ways that I enjoyed. Gone are the days where I'm trying to outrun a crappy diet. I'm trying to go to the gym for an hour or two at a time. No more. It's not sustainable. It was never sustainable for me, and I'm sure it's not sustainable for you unless you have already built a habit around that. The importance when it comes to how you move your body is that you have to do it in ways that work for you. How your body moves, start small. If you don't work out at all, build a small habit. Go for a 5-minute walk. Go do a push-up. Like, it doesn't have to be anything big. It's about building the habit and then expanding on that. So find something that you enjoy and lean into it. If you try to jump all in before you've built a habit, if you think that you need to hit the gym for an hour for it to be effective, going to the gym for 1 hour, one time a month, is not going to do anything to build your strength. But if you have 2 minutes before you have to run out of the house doing a plank for 30 seconds or doing 5 push-ups 3 times a week, that takes no time at all. That would actually build up your strength over time and help you build a habit. So something as small as going for a short walk, doing a push-up in the minute you have before you have to put the kids to bed, like anything little that you can just build off of, it's going to make you more successful in the long run. I started with just daily walks. Then I added my weighted vests, and I take a daily walk with my weighted vest every single day. I started with 5-minute Peloton workouts just a couple times a week. And then once that felt easy, then I upped it. And now I work out 3 times a week. I do strength training 3 times a week in my basement. I built that habit up. I work on my pull-ups because I think that's fun and I like to see the progress. I've learned to do a headstand this year, all from building little habits over time and moving in ways that I actually enjoyed. Shift number 4 that I made is actually a mindset shift, and it was numbing myself to the scale by stepping on it every single day. I know some people feel a lot of hesitation when it comes to weighing yourself, and I did too, but I will tell you, every time I have yo-yo dieted, every time I have gained weight in the past, I was ignoring the scale. I was not stepping on it. I was pretending it didn't exist, and by the time I forced myself to get back on that scale, the damage was already done. So I step on the scale every single day, whether the number is up, whether it's down, it doesn't matter. It's just a number. It's just data. And we just use it as a resource and a tool. We are not the number on the scale. It does not reflect our self-worth. It is literally just a piece of information for you to use and reflect on over time. Now, this might be easier said than done. It takes time. I remember stepping on that scale and being so angry, having such a visceral emotional response to that number, like seeing the number was up and automatically feeling like I was a failure. I did something wrong. I am not doing this correctly. It was my fault, basically. But stepping on the scale every single day and just saying to yourself, that is a number, that is not who I am, and just being able to look at it and zoom out to actually see the big picture is what really helps you become numb to that number and realize that it has nothing to do with you. That number is none of your business other than using it as a form of information to tell you if maybe you need to tweak something or not. I also want to mention here that the day-to-day scale numbers fluctuate crazily, especially for women. Especially with hormonal imbalances, that number can go up 5 pounds in a day, sometimes more, depending on what your situation is. And that's okay. You need to zoom out. You need to look at a month at the very minimum to see what that number is doing before you make a judgment call to tweak something. If it's going down in that month, you're on the right track. If you're looking at a week and it's just like all over the place, you're not going to be able to see the real trend. So zooming out and getting a full picture over time is the most important thing. Let me also mention right now that there are scales out there that can measure things beyond just your weight, which is amazing. I use the Hume Body Pod scale, And it tells you everything from your skeletal mass, from the water weight that you have on your body, your visceral fat, which is that fat around your abdomen, skeletal mass. There's so much information packed into this little scale. It's amazing. If you have the budget for it, or if you have an FSA account or an HSA account in the United States, you can use that to buy one of these scales. I have a discount code as well. I'll put it up here for you. You can stack those codes. So if there's a sale on the website, you can use this discount code on top of that to get even more money off. So make sure you do that if you end up getting one of these scales. But I love them so much because it's not just that pound number that I'm looking at if I'm gaining muscle, if I'm holding on to a lot of water weight. And that gives me a better idea on if I want to make tweaks in my diet or not, because I can see maybe I just have a lot of water on my body and I just need to flush that out a little bit before I make any big changes. This video is not sponsored by them. They did send me a scale for free at like the beginning of the year. I've been using it for this whole year and I still love it. I use it every single day. So I thought I would mention it. And the last shift that I had to make on my 73-pound weight loss journey is the most important shift. It is absolutely key. You will not make any progress unless you just fully embrace this. I stopped starting over. There is no end. There is no starting over on Monday. This is just a continuation of your life. It just keeps going until it stops. So there is no quitting. There is no failing. If you eat something and you feel like you failed, guess what? You have another chance to eat something in 5 minutes, tomorrow, whatever it is, and you can make a better decision. I had to learn that perfectionism is the key to failure. If you have to be perfect, you're not going to succeed on your health journey. Perfection is the enemy of the good. Real change takes time, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose. I have lost my 73 pounds over a 6-year period. Just over the last 3 years or so, I really started to make these mindset changes and my progress sped up. It's important to think in the long term. The time is going to pass whether you choose to eat a donut or a salad, but the best thing that you can do for yourself is to not beat yourself up. You have to be consistent over time, and if you're constantly quitting and spiraling out of control, you're not going to be able to see the progress that you want to see. And this was a tough conversation that I had to have with myself because I was the queen of starting over on Monday, of eating one piece of candy and saying, well, I already ate that candy, might as well eat 5 more pieces. And it turns into a huge binge. But the thing is, that time is passing. I could have just stopped it right there at that first candy. I could have eaten the candy, enjoyed it, and then just moved on with my life. I didn't have to have that negative self-talk that led me to snacking, to binging, to feeling out of control in my body. I had to have that moment of, I'm going to eat this donut and I'm still going to eat my vegetables. I'm not going to quit right now because if I quit, that's the end. I'm drawing a line and saying, I give up. And you cannot give up if you want to see progress. And when I say you, I'm talking about me. This is all from my personal experience, okay? So I've been there a million times. I've had the nighttime binges. Sometimes I still have the nighttime snacking that I don't feel good about. But the difference is I don't let it make me spiral anymore. I acknowledge the fact that maybe I ate something I didn't think I should eat, because food does not have morality behind it. There is no good or bad food, but there is that guilt that we feel, and society has made us feel like food is good or food is bad, and that's just a huge hurdle that we all have to kind of get over and just realize that it's okay to have a snack. It's okay to have a treat. It's okay to go out and have a beer, have a donut. Whatever these things are that you love, it's okay to eat those things. The important thing is that you don't let it make you feel bad. You don't let it make you spiral and just eat 10 more donuts, right? You eat the donut, you savor the donut. Why am I always talking about donuts in these videos? You eat the thing that you like, and then you move on and you continue on with your life. You follow the habits that you've built for yourself. You eat your vegetables, you eat your potatoes, and then you move on. If you take one thing from this video, I hope that it's just that slow, Simple changes and treating yourself with some self-kindness and love are really the key to shifting that mindset and really getting your health journey moving in the direction you want it to. It's important to strive for progress, strive for little habit changes. What is something you can do, and not perfection? Because if you feel like you have to be perfect, then you often end up doing nothing. And it's better to do something than nothing. Think about how you can talk positively to yourself. Think about your go-to meals. What are you going to be eating on repeat that you actually like, that's going to support your goals? These are the shifts that I made to lose the 73 pounds that I have lost already, and that helped me maintain it basically effortlessly. I don't have to count calories. It doesn't feel unsustainable. I'm eating foods that I actually like. I'm talking to myself in a positive manner, and it just feels good overall. If you want to learn a little bit more about calorie density and just dig a little bit deeper, I will link a video up for you. I did a video about the basics of calorie density and kind of where to start, so watch that video next. And if this video inspired you, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button down below. I would love for you to stick around. I share tons and tons of what I eat in a day videos where I show you how I put these steps into action in my daily life. You can also check out my ebooks. I have my 5-minute sauces that helps me make my meals super tasty while keeping the calorie density low. I also just released my Sam Cooks Comfort ebook. It is full of cozy, warm, easy, whole food plant-based recipes that are so good that you are definitely gonna wanna try. And comment below if you want me to make more videos like this where I really dig deep into the things that have helped me be successful and sustainably be able to lose 73 pounds. I would absolutely love to share more. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.